Mark Twain is a perfect subject for us because, first of all, it's a biography. It is a biography of a life so well lived that you can't believe as you turn each page that it could possibly be this dramatic, this funny, this tragic, this full, this rich. At the same time, it's somebody who sees himself as the ultimate American and who is able to reflect back to us our sense of identity, our sense of character, our sense of creativity. And in so doing, he cannot help but stir up the issues that have so compelled my own professional interests for the last 25 years, particularly race. So when he puts a human face for the first time in literature on a black person, in the person of Jim in Huck Finn, he's changing American literature. Ernest Hemingway said all of American literature began with Huck Finn. And what he's talking about is someone with the courage, the moral, the artistic, the social courage to grasp this great underlying problem of American life, race, and deal with it head on, to make Jim a full human being, to make all of Huck Finn hanging on a moral question about race. So for us, he's a subject tailor-made for the kind of interests we have.
I was born modest, but it didn't last.
I think he would make an interesting film even if he weren't one of our greatest writers. He saw everything that the 19th century in America had to offer. He, riverboat pilot, the heyday of riverboats, crossed the West on a stagecoach, was there at the big booms of the mining in Nevada, in San Francisco during some of its highlights, went to the Sandwich Islands, you know, toured the Holy Land with the first pleasure cruise, saw New York, everything. He was there.
So then when he travels abroad, he takes that attitude with him. As the novelist Russell Banks said, I mean, everybody went to Europe to go to the center of the universe. He was the first person who brought the center of the universe with him. He was saying, I know who I am, I know who my people are, and I'm gonna go and make an observation on the foibles of Europe and all of their problems of being such individual, homogeneous cultures, and we've got this great, diverse, loud, raucous melting pot. This is the story here.
The gentle reader will never know what a consummate ass he can become until he goes abroad. I speak now, of course, in the supposition that the gentle reader has not been abroad, and therefore is not already a consummate ass.
I mean, it's so great to see him, and you have a sense that he is imprinting us with our own identity. That's a great thing.
We have a painstaking process. I mean, I like to think that though we're slower than most filmmakers, the slowness shows itself at the end with the quality that we think we have in it. Twain was edited on film in an old-fashioned way. We're probably one of the last documentary films on public television edited this way. It takes a long time to do that. But we have very good editors. Eric Ewers and Craig Mellish did a great job on this film, but it's a very painstaking process that we would do on that. We go down to New York City and we record voices, not just Keith David, but Blythe Danner, who's the voice of Livy Langdon, and Anne Duquesne, who just gave this electrifying reading of the story of Mary Ann Cord. And we spend a lot of time with them, too. Music is very important to us. We're, in this film particularly, two long-standing sort of Florentine Films musicians are particularly prominent. Jacqueline Schwab takes the bus from Boston, Massachusetts, and then sits down at the piano, and for maybe 8 to 10 hours, she'll be playing different melodies that we have think that we might want to use in the film, and some that she might have brought herself. And then meanwhile, down in Birmingham, Alabama, Bobby Horton has a one-room studio in his home, and he's a one-man band in himself, so he would do the same thing. He'd take sort of Sweet Betsy from Pike, and he might start with a banjo, and then he'll play the mandolin, and then he'll add a track with the guitar, and then he'll do the tin whistle, and all those things. And he'll compile for us this tremendous inventory of American music that we might want to use.
In the same way that his literature has a timelessness to it, a kind of universal quality that speaks to us now, we tried to find a musical soundtrack that mirrors that and is an emotional accompaniment that isn't merely just amplifying the feelings and the goings-on, but a very complex historical element in and of themselves.
And then finally we have a moment where we ring the bell, which means that no more changes. And we have a little party there in our small house here in Walpole, New Hampshire. And with Twain, we broke out the cigars as appropriate to a man who only smoked one cigar at a time, and had a party.
He was given this great gift to be able to distill, in the best sense of that word, who we are. And the liquor he produced still gets us tipsy.
PBS goes backstage